Is it too late to begin a podcast? Well, if that's what you've been asking yourself, I'm going to answer those questions here for you today. Hey, my name is Jason. If you've been watching the channel, you've been seeing me go across Johannesburg, South Africa, showing you how beautiful of a city it is, how great of a place it is, and how safe it is here. And most importantly, you've been seeing me talk about success, what it is, and how to get it in the three areas of life that I focus on, which are happiness, health, and wealth. So now, if you're new to the channel, Definition of Success by Earl Nightingale is the progressive realization of a worthy idea. And there's nothing more worthier than, starting a business, starting a hobby, or doing something for yourself. Like, let's just be honest. Like anything that brings you happiness is a worthy idea. And so I was on, this video is actually coming from, I was on a training yesterday watching about content creation, and they brought up something about podcasts. And I really, 'cause I have a podcast and everything, but I really forgot about it. 'Cause I forget that sometimes people are so new into the digital marketing era that they don't realize how much opportunity is really out there. And one of the things I liked about this training was they were really great at talking about, yes, there's some huge podcasters out there. However, there are still podcasts out here that there's still podcasts out here that are nowhere near the Joe Rogan Experience and things like that, but they're like making tons of money. They have tons of influence in the digital arena. And so I just really want to talk to you about that today. So what was the one thing that they said about podcasts? Like they said, one, know just your niche. What is your audience? What do you want to talk about? And just make sure you're focusing on that topic at all times, talking about talking about it on your podcast. And I thought that was really good because I don't think people realize, like, just because you follow a podcaster that may have maybe 10, 20, or even 100 some thousand followers, it doesn't mean everyone else is following them. I guarantee you, most of the people may have never even heard of the podcast unless you all listen to it together. And so because there's so much market space now with the internet, it really opened up the floodgates of not needing, everybody doesn't have to be in competition anymore. And so what I mean by that is, it used to be, let's say if we were two businesses, we're competing for the same foot traffic that's going across that's going in front of our businesses. Even if we're in like a 5 kilometer radius, we're competing for the same foot traffic. But now, because of the internet has made it to where you're not competing for foot traffic anymore. You're just needing to get people who like, know, and trust you. And that's your job to gain it. And that's why a podcast is a really great tool. It's a really fast way for people to like, know, and trust you. And if you're a subject matter expert, it's things that you can talk about. You can have guests on there. And you can just start using third-party information. Like, look how I'm doing this video right here, guys. This video is coming from a training of someone else. Like, you can even do those things. It's called ILT, Invest, Learn, Train. And that's something that you can do. Because just because of like the people who I learned this from, you may not want to listen to them. They may bore you. I was talking to a guy in my comments on YouTube one day and he was explaining some of the things about me about the astrology here in Johannesburg. I didn't know what I was looking at. And then he was like, yeah, I follow this person, this person, this person. I was like, nah, I like you, man. Like, I'd rather talk to you. Like, I'd rather you tell me about it. Like, you make some content and let me see you. Like, that's how big it is to become a subject matter expert and how easy it is, by the way. Once people start resonating with your voice, they don't want to go and learn from who you learned from. So you can tell them all day long, oh, this is the person that I'm learning from. This is the channel I came from. Like the video that I'm talking about that was talking about podcast and content creation. It came from Laurel Longmire's community, came from her people. Now I'm giving you her name, and I guarantee you not very many people are going to go look her up. And that's not a bad thing. It's just showing you that we need to start understanding how powerful influence is and how much influence we have on each other. My voice, who I am, how I carry myself, how I do my videos may resonate with you. It may not resonate with other people. That's okay. Like, the biggest thing that I've learned when it came to getting into this digital market space is stop trying to make everybody your customer. Stop trying to make everybody your friend. You need to block people. You need to see people who's giving you these hateful images. You need to know the people like, oh, look, you just ain't the type of person for me. Like, you need to understand that. Like, in the business we live in now, because there's so much foot traffic on this digital marketplace, and we're talking about 24 hours, 7 days a week. It never stops. You don't need everybody anymore. Some of the biggest businesses out here, they have less than, I'm talking about some of these digital businesses out there that are making tons and tons of money on a daily basis. Yo, they may have up to 200 to 300 some followers. Like, it doesn't take that much, guys. Like, I'm telling you, like, I've been privileged and blessed to meet some really big digital marketers. And if you really listen to what they say, the actual numbers that transition to sales is not a lot of people. And once you start getting to a certain number of followers and subscribers, you can pretty much start predicting your income with it. And so, like, why not just put in the work right now and just starting out with a podcast? But then you may be like, okay, Jason, like this, I know my subject matter expert, but how do I really do my podcast? And this is why I thought it was they hit something that was very interesting. They didn't go into depth with it, I think, because they were just limited at time, but they talked about looking at it from three approaches of how you can use a podcast, making content in three different areas: audio content, visual content, and then transcription content. And I thought this was really, really good. And I combined this with some other marketing trainings and things I'd be going to. And I really was looking at it from this perspective. So the audio content is just someone being able to listen to it through their phone or through an app, something like that. So like Spotify. So just recording the audio, I'm sorry. However, this is what I would ask for you to do. Don't even just do audio only. So don't just record into your phone or record into a mixer. Just go ahead and film the fit video content. You can film it with your phone, you can film it with a camera, you can use an iPad, you can use a laptop, you can, whatever you have, you can use Zoom, the application Zoom, you can film it through that. That's how we actually film our podcast. We use the Zoom app. And from that video, it's going to give you the possibility to make actually 4 areas of content. So like I can tell you, I do a lot of training on this, guys. So like I really love doing this stuff. So I'm happy to share this with you. And so from that video, because if you're just making a video, you have audio already in there. There's apps. I think it's called Super Sound. It's an app on Android. iPhone users, I'm sorry, I don't have an iPhone. So until I learn those apps, I can't help you on that. But if you know someone who uses iPhones, just ask them, hey, what kind of apps? Or just search in the App Store. And it's called Super Sound, I believe. And so with that app, you can just drop videos in there, MP4 videos, and it'll strip out the audio for you. And then you can just turn that audio into an audio file and upload it to your Spotify or whatever podcast host that you're using. Now, so with the video now, using AI generated tools, you can start making tons of content, man. You can start turning that video, your podcast video, into short segments, like 60-second videos. You can use, I believe it's called Oris AI. I'll have to look it up once the power comes back. But that's an AI tool you can use. I've been trying out one lately. It's called Opus. It's been working really, really well. And I just found of a new one today that I'm testing out. So like there's a lot of things that you can do with the AI tools, and it'll give you the generated captions with it. And so then with that, you can be throwing your podcast little segments up on LinkedIn, YouTube Shorts, Instagram Stories, TikTok, the TikTok Now feature, which is a new thing that they just launched out. Like there's so many ways to do it just by using your video content. And then you may be like, okay, Jason, what was transcription? Transcription means turning it into just transcribing it, turning it just into a print format. And in the era of digital print format, guys, like there's actual places that you can use. There's software you can get this done for free. And the beautiful thing about it, once you start doing that, you can start turning your podcast into a mini book where you're doing just have each chapter as whatever the title segment for each one. You can turn into, if you're doing an interview style format, you can have like a Q&A. Like, hey, here's my Q&A book that with let's say if I'm doing a Q&A with an interview with Mycelium Maharishi, who is my psychedelic mushroom guru, then I can turn that video not only strip it into audio, upload it to Spotify, use different AI generated chat tools to turn into different type of video segments. Then I can transcribe that same interview, guys, put it up there and be, hey, Q&A with the Mycelium Maharishi. Here's a digital ebook for 99 cents. Or give the digital ebook away and then upsell to something different. Like maybe I want to sell them some psychedelic capsules that I use, or microdose things that I'm using. Or maybe if I want to upsell them to, hey, do you want to know what I'm using to get rid of pain? So where I'm living pain free, being able to just get out of bed, just start my day with full of energy. And then I'm upselling them to some of these stem cell patches and stuff like that. Like there's so many more opportunities now. And like, get into podcasting, guys. Like, I'm gonna tell you, the hardest part of getting into podcasts is just starting. The hardest part for me was when I first got into it was just starting. And I would, here's another recommendation that they said too. And I think this was really good. They said, don't look into longer than 20 to 30 minute segments. And if you're going to do 20 to 30 minute segments, you need to upload either once or twice a week. They said, now, if you want to do long form podcasts, such as an hour or longer, and that's what like the Joe Rogan Experience is. It's a long form podcast. They was like, then you can do anywhere from 6 to 8, but then you have seasons. So that means your podcast appears in the fall, and then for maybe a season or two, your podcast is off air, then it comes back. So there's different ways you can approach it. The one thing that you just don't want to do, and I can tell you this from personal experience too, don't just start posting and then stop and never do it again. Like, you need to give yourself, if you're going to take that break, you need to give yourself a finite point of, this is when I start back. Because once you start losing that momentum of doing it, however consistently you're doing it, the hardest part is starting it back. And I'm telling you this from personal experience, guys. Even with the Success Connection podcast, like, now we're trying to get our schedules back in order, align things correctly, and it's now starting to match up. But there's still 2 months that we lost of being able to film. And I'll be honest with you, part of it was just because it was procrastination started kicking in, pure laziness started kicking in. And then you start figuring out, oh, well, I can do this. Oh, I can do that. And that's just it's just human conditioning, man. Like, it's going to hit. I'm not immune to it, and no one's immune to it. You're not going to be immune to it. So just get yourself in action as soon as possible, and just do that. So I hope you got some value from this, guys. Like, make sure you like this video. Subscribe to the channel if you like this type of content. Also, leave me messages in the comments. Let me know if there's other things that you want me to talk to you about. If you want to know specific things, let me know when it comes to digital marketing or content creation. And then if I'm attending any kind of virtual training, or if I have some trainings, I can do some videos about it, talking to you about some of the things I'm learning, or just tell you straight up, like, hey, these are the notes taken from it. This is what they said. Like, I have no problem with doing that. Like, I'm telling you, we live in an age of collaboration now. So me having all of this knowledge, knowing the people to go study under and listen to, it doesn't serve me. And the reason being is I can't do everything. So there may be 3 or 4 things that you're taking from this that you can do that I'm telling you I'm not even doing yet, because I'm so busy focused on the other things that I'm doing. And that's the thing about content creation, guys. There's so much opportunity out here. There's no reason for us to be fighting or holding on to information. Like that whole Lord of the Rings, my precious thing. Like, guys, those days are over. We're in a digital era now. We're in a new age, and it's the age of information and the age of collaboration. And so hope you got some value from that. Share this video with others, especially if you know someone who's looking to get into this space. And just remember, guys, I'm Jason, and success is simple once you know how.